We're going to start with a product that actually came off the tool truck, and that is this little teeny tiny 1/4 inch swivel. This is a 12 millimeter, and they don't sell these in sets. So I went on Amazon and I found this full set from dura-tech. Now, are they the same quality as the Mac tools? No, they're not. Do they have a warranty? Don't know, probably be a hassle anyway. Made in Taiwan, not China, so decent quality. Customers are sneaky, man. This is the Caravan we put the reman engine in, so came in for its break-in oil change. One-man band, you guys, and I was gone for 10 minutes, and he's like, we dropped it off. We put the keys over in the Mountaineer, so grab the keys really fast, we'll get into the video here. This thing is so dirty, man. The problem with my key drop is these fobs don't like to fit through there. Don't tell anybody. Still got to get rid of that. That's parts and sad. This guy's getting some diff fluids done in this one. We just put a Monster Liner bed liner in this one, so that turned out pretty good. Kind of full of water spots, but Monster Liner. See the monster right there. Real good coating. Let's get this guy moved fast. Helps you put it in park first. All right, now we can get into the video. Okay, so like I said, we're talking tools today, and these are going to be mechanics tools that I have recently purchased, so got a lot of tools that could go in this list, but this is all going to be stuff that has made its way into my toolbox as of more recently. Kind of want to preface this by saying at this point in the game, I have most of the hand tools that I would need when you think of, you know, sockets, pliers, stuff like that, so it's seldom that I add these type of tools to the collection now. Once in a while it does happen, but a lot of the stuff at this stage that I am purchasing is more what I would call along the lines of like equipment, new scan tools, AC machine, evap smoke detectors, you know, stuff like that. We just bought a press not that long ago. It's more kind of in the realm of equipment now and less kind of in the hand tool world. So I like that. I have a few things here that I could show you today. Other thing I wanted to mention is I don't do a whole lot of tool truck purchases anymore. Snap-on, Mac, Cornwell, any of that, because I kind of got most of my bases covered there. Once in a while I will pick up something from them, but it either boils down to I need this hand tool for a specific reason. I'm not going to use it that often, so it's not going to get beat up like my Snap-on wrenches, sockets, extensions, or simply they don't have it. And there's a tool that falls under that category too that we're going to show you. Mazda video, I'm working on an update for the B2000. I got to get a few more things done. There's some goodies back there. Don't want to spoil that video, so I'm not going to show you too much, but I've been working on it. Video is about halfway done. Let's get you set up and talk about some tools. So the first tool on my list is actually something we showed you before, and it's a tool I made for the drift car. So like I said, a lot of these tools come from necessity of like, I need this for a very specific thing, right? When you're doing this for a living, you're an auto technician, you're a mechanic, whatever you want to call yourself, a lot of times tools fall under that category. I need this specific thing, and I might not use it that much, but I absolutely have to have it. Sometimes the tool doesn't seem to exist, or it's a special dealer tool. Didn't care enough to look in to see if this was actually a specific dealer tool, anything like that. But one of the things I do is I have an old red toolbox over in the corner, and it's just chock full of Chinesium tools. Chrome, vanadium, Chinesium, stuff you find at garage sales and thrift stores. That box is loaded with that, so when I have to grind something, cut something, hack something up to make a tool for a specific purpose, I don't use my Snap-on Mac, any of my good stuff for that. So I made this guy here, and this is quite literally Chinesium wrench, electrical tape around the handle, and there is an old drain plug welded into the back of that. And I welded it so that we have the angle going this way. This is for the drift car, the Audi TT, to drain the diff fluid. There's like no room between that rear end and the subframe to get an Allen socket in there. That's about this long. I need it to be that long. So I made this tool. So that's, you know, something that's just going to happen. And it's nice to have miscellaneous hardware and junk tools you don't mind modifying laying around to do that thing. So the first actual tool that we purchased is going to be an offering from Harbor Freight here. And you can see this one is brand spanking new. I actually bought a new one. I broke the old one. It was my own fault. And call me stupid, I didn't feel good about warranting it that way. So I bought a new one. This is an ultra low profile long reach flex head ratchet. You can see just how low profile the head is there. You have a 3/8 on this end and a 1/4 inch on this one. Now, like I said, I just purchased this one again, and if you're familiar with this tool, it's like 25, 30 bucks. If you're familiar with it though, they redesigned this tool. It used to be red on this end, I believe, and blue on this end, I can't remember. But the failure point, because I'd warranted like 2 of them, was that the ratcheting mechanism would eventually wear out. So they redesigned this ratcheting mechanism, and it was my hope that this was going to be a much better tool because, like I said, I warrantied a few of them. Not really a huge issue, just kind of a minor annoyance. Part of it too is that this is a very long ratchet. You're going to end up reefing on this where maybe you shouldn't be. You know, you probably put this thing through a lot of abuse just because it is so long. But anyway, it was my hope that with this redesign, maybe they improved this ratcheting mechanism, and ironically enough, this is one of those tools where just when you need it, you need it. And I needed it when I was working on a Miata about a month ago. I had just warrantied the old version and picked up this new one literally the same day. And I put it in there, 1/4 inch side, and the head, the actual gear mechanism in here, fell out, and then the pawl inside actually fell out on the ground as well. So I warrantied it a second time. Doesn't seem like there's a huge improvement there. I haven't seen this exact same ratchet from the tool trucks, and when you need it, comes in handy. Got the shop door open right now. Lighting's just better that way, and there's lots of people driving around, so apologize for that. We have 2 more offerings from Harbor Freight. The next one is actually going to be from the Doyle Tools line. Like I said, this one is from Doyle. This is kind of a slip joint style pliers, but this one has soft jaws, teeth, whatever you want to call them. This is like a little piece of rubber in here. It's a slip joint plier, much like a Knipex, Knipex, however you would like to pronounce that. What I really like about this guy is you're not going to damage. You kind of have these 2 little rubber plastic soft touch inserts in here, so if you're working with something delicate, something that's painted you don't want to scratch up, you're not going to get as much force. It's going to slip easier because of the rubber. But where I find these to come in particularly useful is European cars. You have to do an oil change. You don't have every single cup filter for one of them. This guy is perfect for that. You can get that plastic cup off of there, which sometimes can be brittle, without damaging it with one of these. So filter housing doesn't need to be crazy tight. This works really well for that. Next tool, also from Harbor Freight, more of a generic tool, not necessarily something that you didn't know you needed, but they just came out with the new G2 line of ratchets from Icon, right? So generation 2 ratchets. This is a long reach 1/4 inch ratchet. Very nice back drag on the ratchet, very fine tooth. The switching mechanism feels high quality. The head doesn't seem that much different than the Gen 1 ratchets. Compared it to a few of mine, I don't have a long reach in the Gen 2. The handle to me is where the big improvements come from. This just feels way more ergonomic. It feels more comfortable in your hand. Long reach 1/4 inch, again, probably gonna get yourself into trouble reefing on this thing where maybe a 1/4 inch ratchet shouldn't be stressed that high, but really nice. I'm really impressed with the G2 stuff so far. Might have to pick up a few more ratchets from the G2 line, even though really don't necessarily need them, kind of stocked up on ratchets. Moving on down the list, we're going to start with a product that actually came off the tool truck, and that is this little teeny tiny 1/4 inch swivel. This is a 12 millimeter, and they don't sell these in sets. And that's important because when I asked the guy for a set of these, I was still at Toyota at the time. I needed one for a specific reason, borrowed one from a coworker. This is a 12 millimeter. They don't sell these in sets, which means they're very, very expensive. So I have a Mac Tools 12 mil in this variant, and I also have a 10 mil, but that's it. That's all I bought because, wait for it, take a guess what you think this thing cost. Itty bitty guy, Mac Tools. This guy was $82. Absolutely ridiculous. They don't sell them in sets. $82 for one ball style flex 1/4 inch socket. So what I did, so I went on Amazon and I found this full set from dura-tech. Now, are they the same quality as the Mac Tools? No, they're not. Do they have a warranty? Don't know. Probably be a hassle anyway. Made in Taiwan, not China, so decent quality. One thing I do really like about this set is if you look, you can kind of see this blue ring that's on all of them. So these are relatively small. You drop it in engine bay, something like that. It's kind of like a high-vis little mark there that you're going to be able to pick out and see, versus my Mac guy here is completely black. You drop this guy and good luck trying to find it, and now you just dropped your $80-something socket and it's gone. These aren't quite as small as the Mac socket. I don't know if you can see it there backed up. Let me pull one of these out. So these two guys right here are pretty comparable in size. This is the dura-tech one. This is a 5.5 mil. The set goes from 5 millimeters all the way up to 15. So you can see there though, this is a 12 mil and this is a 5.5, and these are most comparable in size to each other. So the dura-tech set is a little bit bigger. Let me grab the 12. Right here you can see the size discrepancy between the dura-tech and the Mac tool. So this one is smaller, is going to fit into nicer spots, but overall this dura-tech set was $45 on Amazon, and I got 5mm all the way to 15, even got a 5.5 in there. So this I would 100% say is a set of tools that you don't really know you need until you need it, and if you go with a name brand, you're going to be shocked on the price. Last tool on my list, and I have seen these on the tool truck, this brand, you know, on like the Cornwell truck, what have you, and there's lots of rebranding that goes on in tools, but that's going to be these nano sockets. So these are like ultra low profile, impact grade 3A sockets. What I really like about this set is it goes from 6mm all the way to 24 with zero skips at all, and it's one of those things, you guys, you don't know you need it until you need it. If I set the set down, we just check out this one socket. This is the 24mm. Look at how nice and compact that is. You pair this with something like that low profile Pittsburgh ratchet we showed you before, you're getting into places you're not going to be able to get with a normal socket. This is the biggest socket in the set. This is the 24mm, and you can see just how low profile that is. I mean, a 24 is a fairly big fastener in the automotive world. If it's jammed up somewhere in a subframe, or, you know, gas tanks in the way, something like that, you can't get at this large bolt. You're getting in there with something like this. What I really like about these, and I don't know if it's gonna focus when I'm stretching it out here, but look right up here. So this portion is actually a hex. So even if with this low profile, ultra low profile socket, you can't get where you need to be with a ratchet on here, low profile ratchet, doesn't matter. I've been there before. This is hex shaped, so you can actually stick the closed end or open end of a wrench on here and use the socket that way. You know, in an instance where the bolt's really tight, we're talking about a 24, the wrench is maybe slipping, this socket is able to be used with a ratchet or with a wrench. These sockets have absolutely saved my butt in some hairy situations. Like I said, just one of those things you don't know you need until you need it. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. Just wanted to do a little tool talk. Like I said, I don't get to add a ton of hand tools to the toolbox anymore because it seems like I have most of what I need. A lot of what I'm purchasing is equipment. Next on that list, I would love to have a tire changer, but we're gonna have to wait until we get a little bit bigger shop because there's just absolutely no room in here to put one. I thought about adding one when I added the loft into this corner, but I have my lathe over here, I have the welding station, all that stuff, so there's just not enough room for one right now. But I just wanted to show you some tools that I thought, you know, you might not think about, and you run into a situation and you're like, this is something I need, and I'm really glad that this exists. As always, you guys, if you enjoyed today's discussion video, drop me a comment down below. What tools have you found that, you know, maybe you didn't know existed, maybe you bought it and now you can't live without it? I'd like to hear about that, so let me know down below. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you next time.